Bam! What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the latest episode of the morning show in the afternoon. This is going to be I don't know. I think I'm going to use this format until the end of the year, maybe for the first 2 months of next year. Yeah, because I just cannot stream in the mornings anymore during the week, so I just have the weekends to do it. And so yes, I'm going to continue with the name. I'm not going to mess with the name. It's still going to be called the morning show, but I'm just going to have to do it on a Saturday in the afternoon, just because of the conditions and the situations that are currently happening at home. But so yes, so welcome to today's episode. I have a very special episode because I have a CGer here with me who is not from the States and who's not from Europe and who's not from Australia. It's actually a CG from here in Peru, so it's a tremendous honor of mine to have another Peruvian, also interested in comics as much as we are, as I am, and we are, and to be able to talk about this person's project and get to learn more about what they're working on. And so it's a tremendous honor. And yeah, so we'll be talking about that. And then this person has also been kind enough to like split the show with me in the sense that half of the program is going to be questions about their comic, and then the other half is going to be questions about my comic. So it's a win-win-win situation for us all. So yes, I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. What's going on, Dave? Good to see you, man. Always a pleasure. Happy birthday! Actually, you celebrated it yesterday, I think it was, and so I hope you had a great one. And here's to many more, my friend. Keep enjoying. And yeah, for anybody in the chat or anybody who's seen this in the replay, if you haven't, you need to check out Perfect 10. It's an excellent story, well written. Dave goes all in on the characters. He develops them very well. He sets up the story really nicely. It's now in issue 4, and we're finally getting to see. We're finally going to see one of the major villains use the full might of their powers. And I like when there's a build up to this. Now, it reminds me of like Dragon Ball Z, where like you saw Freezer looming in the background, and then you were fighting all these other characters, and then at like towards the end of the Namek saga, you finally get to see Frieza unleashed. And so we're getting to that point in Perfect 10, and I'm excited. So I can't wait to read the comic, and I suggest everybody in the chat to also check it out. And no, thank you, man. Yeah, great. Thank you for the great content. So yes, so without any further ado, I'm going to bring on my guest, and we're going to together learn about who this person is and what comic they have to offer. So without further ado, let's welcome everybody. Please, a big round of applause for Jenko Morningstar from Peru. Jenko Morningstar, please. Hey, what's
Hi,
going on,
hey,
Jenko?
everyone. Hey, what's going on, Elliot? Hey, Dave. What's up?
Yeah, good, great. Thank you very much for being here. Very happy to meet you finally. Yeah, we've been communicating for a while on Twitter, and yeah, up until maybe a few weeks ago, I had no idea that you are also an artist and you're also working on your own project. And so and yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to talk about that, talk about you, and get to know you a little bit more, and yeah, and see what good stuff you have for us today. So please tell us, what can you tell us about yourself?
Okay, so me, I'm a 19-year-old comic artist. I have lived all of my life here in Peru. I grew up during the early phases of the MCU, and watching the cartoon shows from Marvel, from DC, especially one called Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That to me was an amazing show, and it inspired me a lot, and it made me know about so many characters of the Marvel universe, like uh, Galactus, uh, Winter Soldier, all of the more obscure characters, which inspired me to oh hey thanks a lot, Dave Brink. Thanks a lot, man. And yeah, that really
Uh,
inspired me to make my own comic.
nice. And so all of the comics that you've read were from, I'm assuming, what, after 2010?
So yeah, so the comics I've read were actually from the early 2000s, because here in Peru we got the early stuff later.
Okay. So you were never exposed to like the 90s comics and this.
No, actually, I was never exposed to them. I was only
So
exposed to, yeah, the movies and those things.
interesting. Yeah, yeah, because normally the way it is here, oh, not here, what I'm talking about, but normally the way that it is that many of the people that you see in CG, they have been exposed to like the early stuff in the 90s, in the 80s. And so that's the stuff that hooked them into comics. But in your case, you started with a TV show, with the Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes TV show. Interesting.
Yeah.
And do you continue reading comics nowadays? That with like today's current issues, do you still read those comics?
Yeah, well, comics are, I think, the love of my life. I really think they are the best storytelling medium of all time. I just
Mm.
can't, I think I just don't imagine myself not reading them.
Yeah,
But because all of the things of the woke culture and SJWs and stuff, I don't read the comics from modern day. I read trade paperbacks of
mm.
better comics from the 80s or the 90s, or manga also, and some YA novels. But from today, yeah, I don't have so much stuff from the current era of Marvel and DC comics.
How did you at what moment did you become aware that there is a woke agenda in comics, and then when did you start like not liking that? When did that happen? I'm really curious about.
Yeah, so in 2013, Marvel made. I was aware. I wasn't reading, but I was aware of the Captain America comics and all of the stuff that was happening there.
Mm.
And I remember that Marvel made Steve Rogers my favorite hero. He's my favorite hero of all time. Uh, he made. They made him an old man, an old weak man who had to use a cane, and
Mhm.
they made Sam Wilson the new Captain America.
Okay.
And I remember feeling that was a bit insulting for me as a fan of Steve Rogers, because they were making my guy weak and less heroic, and
Yeah.
they were making the diversity character the main hero of the title. And I saw
Exactly.
that happen to Thor and to Wolverine, and I just that didn't sit well with me.
Yeah, and so there was a moment where you did read comics about Captain America, where he's the heroic guy, where he's Steve Rogers, where everything was normal, and then later they changed it on you, and then they introduced the woke agenda. So you see, you did have exposure to the previous to the Steve Rogers original Captain America.
Of course, yeah, because I learned about him. I didn't read exactly the monthly issues, but I did read
Yeah.
trade paperbacks like the Return of Captain America after he was resurrected after his death on Civil War, and
Mm.
I learned about the classic character, the classic version, not the ultimate version, the
Mm.
classic from Avengers: Mightiest Heroes, like I said earlier, and also the MCU version, which
Yeah.
is I think my my favorite modern version of the character.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the MCU did a really good adaptation of Steve Rogers. I think it was pretty good. I think it was really pretty accurate, and yeah, his movies are great. I like them. Awesome, man. So where do you buy your comics? Do you
So I
get
buy
them
my comic.
digitally, or do you buy them at a store?
Okay, I see. So Yeah, like to read comics physically because I
Hmm.
think that physical comics are not only a good way to be entertained, but
Yeah.
also they are a perfect. They are pages and pages and pages of reference material. So if you
Mm.
don't know how to read a tree, maybe you can grab one of the comics you have on your shelf, and you find out how to draw a tree.
That is, yeah, that's excellent. That's really true. And because I don't know if you know, 'cause there are some comic book stores in Lima, and there's one that I go to. I don't go there a lot. I have the last time I went there was years ago, but I know it exists and it's still operational. It's called Acabane Comics, and it's in Lince. No, is that Lince? Yes, in Lince. And I don't know. Are you familiar with Acabane, or is there another place where you get your comics?
Well, I don't really know about Akabane Comics here but I live near Lince, so I may visit it someday.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's in El Centro Comercial Arenales in the
oh
fourth
yeah,
in the
yeah, the
fourth
place is
floor.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, in the top, the last floor. There's a place that's called Acabane Comics, and then they sell comics. I went there to get some stuff. They also have back issues. They don't have a lot, but they do have some back issues, and they got some issues in English. The majority of everything is in Spanish, and that's the one that I know about. I don't know if there may be other comic book stores in Lima, but that's the one that I know about. And if you have time, then you should go check them out. And they're really good people over there, really nice people.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, I'll go check them out because I go to Arenales. For our American friends who don't know what Arenales is, it's like
Yes,
a perfect place for anyone who likes superheroes and
and manga.
yeah, and that nerdy stuff, right? So it's
Yeah,
more about manga nowadays.
yeah.
But
Everything is manga here. Yeah,
yeah,
there's a lot of stuff. And but you also like manga.
of course, yeah. And to answer the
Do you,
question, I do buy my books and my manga from the bookshops, standard bookshops.
okay, like Crisol.
Yes, Crisol.
Okay, cool, awesome. Yeah, Crisol here. If anybody's curious, is a bookstore. It's very popular. It's a chain of bookstores here. All right,
Yes.
awesome stuff. And so at what moment did you decide that making comics was something that you wanted to do? And then when did you start transitioning into becoming a creator? When did that happen?
Well, in 2020, I during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure many other people have started their careers in the pandemic.
Yes, yeah. I
Yeah,
discovered all of this during the pandemic. Yeah, that's true.
me too. Me too. Yeah, it's the same story. Yeah. So yeah. So during the pandemic, I wanted to make something to correct all of these comics that I didn't like. I wanted to
Yeah,
make something for people who liked other stuff,
yeah.
not so much politics, but good stories. So I went ahead and I started thinking, and I also was introduced to these shonen stories like Naruto or Dragon Ball Z, and I saw those shonen stories, and I said, well, I really want to make a comic like that, but
Mm,
how do I make it? Okay, so let's see. Naruto is a shonen about ninjas. Okay, ninjas is taken. Let's see. Dragon Ball Z is about kind of aliens and martial artists, and then My Hero Academia is about superheroes. But what can I contribute to this medium?
mm.
And then I started thinking, and I said, oh, spies. The spy genre. I can combine those two genres, the
Spies.
shonen and the
I
spies.
mean,
And so I created this comic called Silver Lining, which I'm currently making.
can you show us some of the art for Silver Lining?
Yeah, of course. Let me show my screen. Can you see it?
Yeah, that's excellent right there. Really, really good.
Oh, thanks a lot, Elliot. So, as you can see, these are pages without text. They are I'm currently in the process of inking this project. I've colored some pages because I want to show the people my work. And this story is about this boy, the one you see with the crazy hair.
Yeah, yeah.
He's called, yeah, he's called Agent Silver Lining. That's his code name. His real name is Aaron Grace. And the story about him is he got his powers from a terrorist attack. There was a terrorist attack which happened in London, and he was around there at the moment, which gave powers to children and to teenagers. Yeah, it's a weird terrorist attack, but the damage that the attack did to the people of London was
Yeah.
that it put the adults, which means the adult people, like the parents of these children, into a coma. So
You
he
said
has
coma.
superpowers. Yes, exactly. So he has superpowers, but his parents are in a coma. So now he's chasing after the terrorists because he wants to wake them up. He needs a cure for this coma, which is like a rare disease, and he needs the only people who understand this disease are the terrorists who gave him the superpowers. So he's now chasing after them, and this is the first of his adventures.
Nice. And for the people that are in the chat, in case you're curious, the images that Jenko is sharing are images from his Instagram account, and his Instagram account is in the description below. I'll actually put the it's in the chat. Yeah, I send it right now in the chat. So just click on it. You can take a look at it and follow through and follow with what Jenko's revealing for us. So the comic is called Silver Lining. The
Yes,
main character is Agent Silver Lining, and it's
yes.
spies out to find these terrorists that have attacked London. And I'm sorry, I had a question. What is shonen?
Okay,
You
so
mentioned shonen. What is that?
yes,
Help
so
completely
the
lost.
shonen, yeah, so the shonen genre is a genre of Japanese manga where you have, let me see. Okay, so you have a young protagonist like this one right here, and he usually has like crazy hair,
Yeah.
like Naruto or Goku or Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh, and he goes into these ad- adventures against villains and foes, and he has to defeat them. And we see the protagonist grow. It's a genre of Japanese manga.
Okay, so okay, it's a genre of Japanese manga called shonen. All right, good. Yeah, because there's a lot of terms in manga that I was unaware of. For example, mangaka, I think is one, and I think is like an artist of manga, but they can only be Japanese people. I think something like that. Is that correct?
Yeah, so they are the writer and the artist of their comics, and yeah, usually they can only be Japanese.
Yeah, that's what I heard also. Yeah, there's a lot of terms that I had no idea what they were, but it's fascinating because I'm a big fan of manga, and a big fan of Japanese animation and things because I like Dragon Ball Z. I've never read or seen a complete issue of Naruto, but the fight scenes that I've seen have been really cool. Um, uh, and yeah, like for I don't, and Final Fantasy, for example, is from Japan, and that has influenced my comic a lot. And so Japanese influence is always has always been there. You know, it has always been there, and yeah, it's always and I've always been a fan. But I haven't been as deep into that as I have into American comics, but it is really really great and yeah, there's a lot of things with the storytelling in manga that I want to also use for my comic as well, and it's really they have excellent visuals, just amazing visuals for the fight scenes, and
Yeah, they have
that's
the best artists.
yeah, yeah. And so, Jenko, on your comic, you're going to be the writer, the colorist, the inker, the penciler. Are you going to letter everything? Also, are you doing everything on this project?
everything, man, from the logo to the letters to the inking, the writing, just everything you need for a comic book. I'm
Yeah.
doing.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
awesome, man.
and I'm taking care of the marketing and yeah, all that stuff. It's just purely independent.
Yeah, excellent. And when did you develop your craft for drawing? When did you develop this skill? Like as you were reading the comics, also the comics from those days influenced you into drawing.
Yes, yes. So from when I was growing up, I didn't actually got my comics from the bookstore, but I went with my dad to the market and we bought the comics there. They were floppies. They were
Mm,
standard magazines, and I learned a lot about anatomy, and I just tried to mimic those styles, and I did it a lot in school, and I started drawing, and yeah, it developed into a habit that in the pandemic took seriously.
nice. And what are your artistic influences? What artists maybe back in those days when you first started drawing, or what artists now are influencing you into drawing? And Sheldon Martin is in the chat. What's going on, Sheldon? Great to have you.
What's up,
And
Sheldon?
yeah, Jenko's only 19 years old, and he's doing his own comic project. I wish I was 19 doing this. No, it would have been great. It would have it would
Oh,
have been
thanks a lot.
much.
Thanks, Elliot, and thanks, Sheldon. Yeah.
But yeah,
So
how did you develop your art? Yeah.
oh yeah. So to answer your question, Elliot, your previous question, uh, my influences I think are from uh, I would say from manga, uh, but also from comics. It's a mix between the two.
Yeah.
My favorite artist from manga is the artist from My Hero Academia. So I learned a lot of things from that guy. I
What's his
took
name?
what's his name? Okay, so his name is Kohei Horikoshi.
Kohei Koriko. Interesting.
Yes, he's a very talented artist, and I learn a lot from him. I take a lot of reference from him, and
Mm.
also American artists such as Jim Lee. Jim Lee is one of my favorites, definitely. And Ethan Van Sciver. I take a lot of textures from Ethan Van Sciver. I
Yeah.
admire him a lot. Of course, he's the Stan Lee of CG, right? Uh,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, Uncle E. Yeah, yeah. He's an excellent artist.
the Pie Man. Yeah, so Ethan Mascara and other artists like let me think. Okay, so there's an American artist that's not a superhero artist, but he's called Mark Creeley, and
Ah, yeah.
do you know him?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Brody's
yes,
dope. Yeah, he's a great artist.
yeah, he does tutorials, right?
Yeah, yeah. He's
Yeah,
an excellent
so he
artist.
influenced me a lot.
Nice. Yeah, and Mark Curley, he has like a series, like a book series, also like how to draw manga. That he does really good work in it, also really good stuff. I got his comic called Brody's Ghost, and that comic was really good, really good. And yeah, Sheldon says Jim Lee is a lot of people's favorites, one of mine. So yeah, I like Jim Lee. I like his earlier stuff. I don't really like what he's doing too much now. I think I think he's I think he's phoning it in many cases. I think he's just doing something just for the sake of doing it so that he can stay relevant. But I think his best work was back in the day. What I love about Jim Lee is his hatch work. His hatch work for the gradients with inks uh, from dark black to light black. The gradients that he uses with hatching, I think, is phenomenal. He does really good work. I remember during the pandemic, he did this challenge, this 60-day challenge where he did like a piece every day for 60 days, and he did some excellent work then. But yeah, he's an excellent artist. Excellent
Yeah, I
artist.
learned I learned a lot from him.
Excellent. So what do you in this project? You are already many pages in. I think you already have 45 pages done. Or how many pages is this project going to be?
Oh yeah, so this project is 48 pages long, and I have already done. Uh, so I do pages loosely. So you may see, like for example, here it says page 47 finished, right? But here it says page 10 finished. So it's not really. I'm not really that fast, but yeah, I try my best, and I've done many pages now. I think I've done like maybe 10 pages,
Ah,
but
okay.
yeah, I'm
I
I'm
thought
working on it.
I thought when you said like page 45 finished, like you finished like from 1 to 45, and that's you're just working on this one page and then the other page and then like that.
Exactly.
So you're hopping around in the story.
Yes, exactly.
Ah,
That's my
okay,
method.
nice. I've never tried that. So you have everything already written. The story is already finished.
Yes, of course. I have everything written. I have everything sketched out, and I have
Ah,
everything storyboarded. So I put some colors in, and yeah, so the colors are blocked. I've chosen the color palette of every scene. I've chosen
wow.
the design of the characters. Yeah, that's all done. All that's missing is the inking and the coloring, and of course the lettering and the let's say the graphic design at the end of every comic.
Wow, that's amazing. Awesome work, man. And did you go to school for art?
No, not really. I am self-taught, but I did
Wow,
take some art courses during my life.
nice. Yeah, because I don't know if there's many art courses here in Peru for that. No, because I know we have Toulouse, but I don't know if Toulouse does comic book work like this. But but that's great. That's awesome. It's a self-taught artist.
Yeah, I don't know about Toulouse. I haven't heard about it, but I did went to a center for artists or for courses for many purposes, which was called Mali, and there was a
Ah, yeah,
comic book
yeah.
that took it. Yeah,
They have classes. They have classes for comics. I think. Yeah.
yes, classes for
Yeah,
comics
yeah.
and manga.
That's awesome. And so you have 48 pages. You've done 10 pages of it already. When are you planning on doing your campaign? How are you planning on doing that? When are you planning on doing that?
Yeah, so I think I would like the date to of my campaign to be uh, somewhere during May next year.
Wow, that's close. Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to make it professional, and I want to finish the comic before doing the campaign because I don't
Yeah.
want to have trouble with the lateness and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's an issue that is affecting all of us, and yeah, I think if you can eliminate any possible problems with delays, I think would be great. Like if you can finish as much of the art as you can. In your case, since you're doing everything, you can practically finish the entire book by yourself before you launch, which would be great. Which would definitely be great. And Sheldon has a
Yeah.
question. He says, "Is there a sign up page yet? What platform are you going to go with for your launch?"
Oh, okay. So, is there a sign up page yet? No, I haven't done the sign up page yet. Excuse me for that because I really should. But I'm planning to do a mailing list very soon. You can follow
Mhm.
me on Twitter, and you will get news about that topic. And on the question of what platforms are am I going with, I think I'm going with Indiegogo, with of course the risk that there's a lot of shadow banning now.
Mhm.
I'm willing to take that risk because I think Indiegogo is the right now the platform of Comicsgate, whether we like it or not. And I want to expose this project to as many people as I can.
Are you considering maybe also launching on Fun My Comic, or is that out of the question?
Well, Fund My Comic is a new platform. It's an awesome platform. It's amazing because it doesn't take as much money of your campaign as Indiegogo, and
Yeah.
it embraces comic artists and Comicsgate and all we stand for. But since it's so new, it would be a risk that I'm not sure if I'm willing to take. But maybe that's a real possibility if I can get. a big audience, and I can market my product right, I will launch and fund my comic because I love that platform.
Sounds great, man. Yes, awesome. Yeah, I always keep worrying, like what'll happen in the future? What will the kids like? Because I normally see a lot of kids that they rather use spend their time on TikTok and things like this. But it's great to see people like you, people like Atomic Artist, and then the Jedi Master guy, and then all these other young talents that are doing really good work. And yeah, I applaud that. That's awesome. That's great. Keep it up. I like that. That's
Thanks a
awesome.
lot, man, and thanks for lumping me in with our Jedi. That guy is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, he does great work. Atomic Artist is doing a lot of great work. Also, I don't know if he's around, but he does really good work. He's leveled up a lot recently, and yeah, I'm glad to see that there's an interest in comics from a younger generation. I'm glad it's not just all the 40-year-old and the 50-year-olds. I'm glad there's I'm glad there's still some teenagers in there. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my boy, Andrew
but yeah.
Gabarete. Yeah. Yeah, amazing
Okay, so
artist. Yeah, yeah. Now we
oh,
got Jenko in there also.
oh, okay. I will look up those guys, Sheldon. I didn't know about those. I'm going to look up
Yeah,
those
yeah,
guys.
yeah. The one that I'm talking about, yeah, the art Jedi is Joshua, and then Atomic Artist is
Really?
Andrew Gabarete. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You
Okay,
should,
okay, okay.
yeah, really good artist, and just glad to see that there's still enthusiasm in the youth, and I'm glad that the youth haven't been taken away from comics. That's great. That's awesome,
Yeah.
and
TikTok hasn't brainwashed all of us.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm really glad to hear that. Glad to see that, and yeah, man, that's amazing. I'm
Yeah,
glad for the work that you're doing. You're doing really good work. You seem to have everything, like planned out really nice.
yeah.
Um, and the art is great. Yeah, good stuff.
Thanks a lot.
And I think that
Oh, yeah. So, Elliot, I wanted to tell you just something. Uh,
yeah,
just on the topic of your generation, I think your generation is doing a lot of great stuff because they have been influenced by these 90s artists, and they make because of that they make stuff so three-dimensional and so dynamic and very explosive. And yeah, I think that's a really appealing look for comics. And
yeah,
if our movement, our comics move, if the comics get movement didn't have such such cool visuals, we wouldn't be where we are now,
yeah,
as a stable movement of of crowdfunded comics.
yeah,
So yeah,
definitely,
so and I love 90s stuff, and I love stuff that's influenced by 90s stuff, like
yeah,
King Cryptid. You know, yeah,
yeah,
Pizzi Mary is influenced by the 90s artists and the 90s stuff because he's from that generation. And King Cryptid is amazing. It's one of the best books in CG.
yeah, definitely, excellent. Yeah, I agree. I think I'm biased because I'm from that generation, but yeah, I think it's great that the people that grew up with those comics are still looking for ways to keep it alive, in one way or another, and that's great. And we got Shadowpunk in the chat. What's going on, Shadowpunk? Yeah,
What's up, Shalom? Thanks a
I'm
lot.
talking I'm talking to Jenko, who is a fellow CGer who is also from Peru, like I am, and we're talking about comics. And this is his comic. It's called Agent Silver. No, it's called Silver Lining,
Yes, Silverline.
and it's going to come out next year in May. And so yes, it's just right around the corner. And my boy here, he's only 19 years old, which is great. We got agent no we got Silver Lining for years. Which is great.
Yeah,
And yeah,
I hope to God that will be the case.
yeah, and then Sheldon Martin says King Cryptid is a fun comic, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, Sheldon, it's a very fun comic and a very quality comic.
Yeah, and
Oh
then
yeah,
Shadow
so
Punk says is yeah, go ahead and answer the question, from Shadow Punk.
thanks, Elliot. So, Shadowpunk, to answer your question, am I the writer or the artist? Yeah, I'm both. I'm both. I'm taking care of everything here, the lettering, inking, everything. That's to be taken care about in a comic.
Yeah, yeah, he's doing all of it. The inking, the penciling, the letters, the layouts, thumbnails, everything. He's going to letter it, color it. Oh man. God bless this. God bless. It's a lot of work. A lot of work, man. But yeah, it's going to look great. It's looking great so far. The pages that I've seen look really good. You have a great concept of 3D environments and perspective, and I think that perspective is going to help you a lot. It's going to help to sell the ideas of depth and visual. I think you're doing really good, and so yeah, I'm excited for the project. It's great. And then the Woke Breaker, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Good. Thank you very much for stopping by. I really appreciate it, and glad you're here, man.
Thanks
And
a
then
lot,
shout
Elliot,
out
and
point.
hello to Workbreaker.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And shout out point says, yeah, do it all. That's my motto. I like Jenko already. Yeah, yeah,
Thanks,
yeah.
Shadowpoint.
He's
Thanks a
cool.
lot. Yeah, I like his work too. I've seen him on Twitter. He's very talented.
Yeah, Shadow Point does everything. Also, he does the line art, the inks, the colors. He does figurines. He does everything. He does all that stuff. Yeah,
Oh man.
excellent work, Shadow Point. Yeah, the same. God
Yeah,
bless both of you guys. Yeah, because I can't do all that work.
yeah.
And
We're
then
gonna
Sheldon
need
says, "Good luck."
exorcists. We're gonna need exorcists of this after all of this work.
Yeah, yeah, God, yeah. Bless you guys for doing all that work, man. And then Sheldon says, "Good luck with your comic, Jenko. I'm looking forward to see the development of this project." Yeah, me too. Are you thinking about or considering like doing like a YouTube channel, or maybe or are you just going to focus on promoting the comic on Twitter? How do you plan on? Because 6 months is quick, and you need to. I think you need to inform the people from now that
Yeah,
this comic exists, and that how are you planning on approaching that aspect of it?
you're very right, Elliot. 6 months, go quick, and I need an audience for this. So first of all, thanks for your interest, Sheldon. And let me share the other project I have going on, which is my YouTube channel.
Ah, nice. Okay, good.
Yes.
Awesome. There is a YouTube channel. You can catch him live. Yeah, Woke Breaker likes the art also. Yeah, I agree. Really good stuff. And here is the YouTube channel.
Okay, so as you can see, this is my channel. It's called Jenko Morningstar, just as my username. I have uploaded some videos. As you can see, here are three medium length videos, and here are some shorts, which I've done more. It's a fairly new channel, and I'm going to make more and more stuff. I'm this channel I was first aimed at commentary, like critiques of woke culture and stuff. But I'm going to expand because I think this type of content is uh, I don't know, like it doesn't receive as many views because a lot of people make commentary of woke culture and stuff. So
Yeah,
it's a bit difficult to be in that space.
yeah,
Although I agree with all the opinions, I wouldn't receive as many views as Rankino or Geeks and Gamers or Critical Drinker. So my strategy is to change the focus from commentary to tutorials. So if you're
yeah,
interested in taking care of any part of a comic, like lettering, inking, writing, graphic design, um, selling a comic, I'm going to make tutorials for you.
awesome stuff, man. Yeah, no, I have the link for his YouTube right here, right below in the chat. Check it out. Click on it, and be sure to subscribe to Jenko. He's going to be giving us his tutorials and hopefully maybe some live drawing streams or something like that, so we can see you work on the project. I think people really like it when they can see the creator work on the project itself. I think that would be nice. But yeah,
Oh
excellent
man,
stuff,
that would
man.
be cool as heck. Yeah, and I also have something else going on. This is the last thing, and let me see. This is my Twitter page. So I've got it right here. So this isn't my Twitter page, it's not, but yeah, okay. So this is the new series of tutorials I'm doing, which is called Comicsgate Tips. In Comicsgate Tips, I explain different topics that could help you as an indie comic artist to make your project a reality, and also to develop your skills as a comic artist. So sorry, I was showing the chat. So here's the first of my Comicsgate tips: how to make a $25 comic worth its price. And I started explaining here an option that you have. I'm giving you options so that you can use them as tools. So here is about that topic: how to make a $25 comic worth its price. Then we have here one about studying color and developing your coloring skills. Here is another one about so here's basically an advertisement for my Comicsgate Tips series, and here's one that actually gained a lot of traction. It's called how to make a $25 comic actually worth its price, but it's another option for you to accomplish this goal. It's about adding value to your story, giving value to your reader, so that he feels that when he pays 5 times the price of a floppy, he gets really something that is worth 5 times the price of 5 times of a floppy.
Nice. Yeah, these are all excellent tips. I've been reading some of these, really good ideas, really good breakdown of how to best approach a lot of the tips that he's mentioning, making the price worth it, layouts, how to make a panel dynamic. He covers a lot of tips, and it's really worth the time to check it out. Really good stuff.
Yeah,
And
it goes from all range of things in a comic. Like for example, here it's not a very significant thing, but I discovered this trick reading Dark Phoenix about how John Byrne approached weapons, and I shared with you so that you ink weapons in this style, which makes it look better.
yeah, I like that's one of the ones that I've read. Yeah, really good stuff. Because I'm going to need some of that information for my own comic. Yeah.
Oh, thanks a lot, man.
Awesome stuff.
Okay, Elliot. So I wanted to make you some questions about your own comic,
Yeah, yeah.
because I love the opportunity that you gave me, and I love the chat's attention, and I love those guys. So
We
I
love the
wanted to
gang.
share this space to talk about your comic, because this is the Ominus Morning Show, and I want them to
Exactly.
know also more about the Ominus comic.
Excellent. So yeah, if you have any questions,
Of course,
go
yeah.
ahead.
So who is your protagonist?
My protagonist, the main character of my comic is, let me find him. I didn't have the stuff ready. Wait. Yeah. 1 second. I'm taking too long with this.
Don't worry, man. We'll wait for you.
Yeah, here it is. Here's the main character of my comic. His name is Zadok. Zadok is the pronunciation.
Zayda.
And yeah, he's a teenager. He's about your age. Yeah. So yeah, he's a teenager, and the story is he goes on he goes on a he goes to run an errand to do something very simple, but then along the way, things happen to him that he becomes involved in something much greater, um, and yeah, then he has to learn along the way responsibilities and things that make him a man, essentially. So it's a very it's a coming of age story. Like you see him as a youth, and then the things that he goes through that make him who he is later on in the story, and yeah, that's the idea of this of the comic. and I obviously there's going to be a lot of action. I have a lot of twists and turns for Zadok. He's going to be fighting this bad guy that I have shown off already before. Let's see this big bad guy here. Um, and uh, and yeah, so that I mean that's what I have for the moment. There's a comic that I already finished that's available now for anyone who's interested. For $5 digital, you can get a digital copy of this comic, and you can see my main character fight this big monster. Here is a page. Sorry. Okay, here's the first page, and you can take a look at that. And I have gotten a lot of feedback
Amazing art,
about
man.
this.
Amazing art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Thank you.
And if you don't know, guys, in the chat, this art has gotten the approval of some big names, like Ethan Van
Oh
Sciver.
yeah.
Ethan Van Sciver said, "Wow, he's an up and coming artist," and yeah, he was very impressed by Elliot's work because of how explosive it is and how dynamic it looks. The storytelling, it's done very well, and it's meticulously crafted. Elliot is an artist who is um, who who really cares about you, about the audience, and he doesn't want to make a product that's forgettable or that's half-assed. And I notice he puts a lot of effort into making the work as best as it can be, and because he cares a lot about you as a customer, and he wants to give you the best comic that you can get. So it's worth it, guys, because he puts this passion into his project, and it pays off. It looks amazing.
Hey, thank you very much, Jenko. I really appreciate it, and thank you, Sheldon. Yeah, the villain. Yeah, thank you. I've gotten a lot of great feedback for Deathmonger. He's everybody's favorite, and so when I was writing the comic, I was like, I'm right now. I am currently in the writing process. Here is actually the. I'll show you guys. Put myself in solo mode for a moment. This is the actual. Right. This is the actual comic itself, like in story form, and I've gotten my edits from the editor, and I'm currently reading through this and rewriting a bunch of things, and so I'm working on the story itself. I'm doing panel layouts, getting everything ready. Hopefully next year I'll be able to start drawing pages, and this is the complete story. Like so, it's a lot, and hopefully I'll break it down. I think maybe in 2 or 3 comics. And so I was thinking, and this is going to take a long time to get from beginning to end. And so I thought that would be a good idea to expose the reader to something, just to something very small, so that they can get an idea of what kind of art I'm bringing, what kind of art they can expect, and so I did this storyline. This is called see if I can find the thing. This is the cover for the preview comic. This is called Avenging Death, and I'm the artist. Emmanuel Ordaz, he did the interior colors, and Paul Bird, the creator of Fall of Man comics, he did the lettering. He's doing a lot of work now. He's attached to a lot of different projects, which I'm really happy for Paul. And so and yeah, so this is ready right now. You just hit me up in the DMs, and I'll send you the PDF file, and you get to see this fight between the main character and Deathmonger. And so I got so much positive feedback from Deathmonger that I thought, hey, wouldn't it be a great idea just to see these 2 guys fight for a little bit? And so that's what I did. I put them together to fight, and that's what we have in the comic. And I think it's a good little teaser while I'm working on the actual book itself. And yeah, so that's where I'm at right now, and hopefully I'll be done with this editing soon, maybe next month. I don't know, but yeah, working on it step by step.
It's very cool, man. I have no doubt about that. This fight is very cool. And yeah,
Thank you.
so if you want to get into this project, you can DM Elliot through Twitter, and he will give you the indications on how to get it. The format is digital, and I absolutely suggest it. It's a great story, and it's it has a lot of passion put into it. A lot of passion.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, Jenko, for the help, for the promotional help. And here's
Yeah, man,
here's a
really good.
recent here's some recent artwork that I did. This is a character from the comic. His name is Silas. We see him in the first page. He's right here, defeated. Zadok picks up his sword, and we see him here. No, so I don't think I have. Just give me a second. Let me find the page.
Oh yeah, Elliot. So I wanted to comment you on something. Sadok and my protagonist look a bit like each other, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
notice? Yeah,
Agent Silverline. Yeah.
yeah. Let me
Um.
share. Let me share for a bit. So as you can see, this is my character, my protagonist. He's the hero of my story. He's called Agent Silverline. It's this guy with the crazy hair. He's a young
Yeah.
guy. He's a teenager like Sadok, and yeah. So as you can see, there's him. Just
Yeah.
okay.
There he
So
is.
there's him, and here is Sadok, Elliot's.
Yeah, I was gonna show that. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, Elliot's protagonist.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they. I don't know if it's because we're both from Peru, but they kind of look. I don't know, like brothers or something.
Yeah.
Right?
We have a very similar aesthetic. Definitely.
Yeah. So
And
if you don't know, guys, this is Sadok wrong in my style. I did this fan art for Elliot because I wanted to thank him for inviting me on his show.
yeah, and I'm gonna find some way to use that because I really like the fan art. It looks really good, and I think his style complements the story that I'm drawing very very well. And let me see if I can find. Trying to look
Thanks a lot, man.
for the page, but I can't see it.
Were you searching for a page of Ominus?
I'm looking for the fan art piece. I thought I had it. But
Oh, okay. Maybe are you searching for the fan art with the title?
no, with just the fan art itself.
Oh, okay, okay.
And
Because if you here, look, guys, here is the other version I did with the title. We use this as a thumbnail because I wanted to present my art style with Elliot's character in the thumbnail. So as you can see, I did that, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Enjoy it.
yeah, yeah. Show them Martin says crossover. I don't know. Maybe
Crossover.
that could possibly work one day. I would like to finish my story before I do anything else with it. But yeah, I have no problem with it. If if we can manage a storyline together, yeah, that would be great. That would be great.
No, I love
That would be
crossovers, man.
awesome.
I listen a lot to Chuck Dixon's podcast, and he
Yeah,
talks a lot about crossovers. There's limitless potential for a crossover. So
yeah,
any
definitely.
crossover, I'm up to any crossover with properties that I or stories that I really believe in, because I make my own stories with just like Elliot does, with a lot of passion and a lot of work put into it. I really try to make it the best comic it can be. And if I really believe in a story, like in Elliot's case, I would really like to make a crossover with that. But of course, I, as a general rule, for my stories, I like emotional payoffs and
Yeah,
emotions, and yeah, so I would contribute that to our story, and uh, I would search for making the characters feel real, feel human.
yeah, I agree. I think that's the best approach. Also, I think a crossover for the sake of a crossover could work, but if you can add that story element where there's like an emotional payoff or something, yeah, that would be great. And I'm always open for that kind of thing. So I think that would work. I think that would definitely work.
Yeah.
And trying to get the art.
Okay, so meanwhile, guys, I'm going to show you a bit more and tell you a bit more about my story. So this is a page featuring the villain. He's called Anubis. He's based on the Egyptian god. And if you are asking yourself, why is he the villain of my comic? Well, the terrorist organization, the main terrorist organization that are the villains of Silver Lining of my hero, are called Sphinx. And this is a terrorist group that uh, dresses itself as like the Egyptian pantheon. So we have Anubis, we have other guys. So not to spoil too much, but yeah. So the whole Egyptian pantheon are basically the villains, the terrorists of this story that Silver Lining has to search for and hold accountable for the multiple attacks and stuff they do, the horrible stuff they do. And he's a villain I developed as a very intelligent being and a very capable being. He's going against this teenager who has, as you can see, kind of a wild spirit. He has fun. He likes to to have fun with his enemies. He can kind of make jokes. He's kind of a prankster at times, but and he's going against this guy who's a genius, and he's a super villain who's also a, a genius, a scientist, a mad scientist, and he is going to have to find a way to defeat him. He's the underdog in this story, of course, because he's
Yeah.
more powerful and him more smarter than him, and he's going to have to find a way to defeat him and save the day, save the world from him.
That sounds great, man. That's awesome. And why did you pick Anubis and Egyptian gods for the bad guys? Why not? Because we have Peruvian folklore also. Why Egyptian?
Yeah, of course. So to develop the villains of my story, uh, I thought about what could contrast well with my main character, uh,
Mhm.
Silver Lining, this guy right here. Um, and since he has superpowers, superpowers related to silver, since he has a code name related to silver, I thought, well, what's the opposite of silver? That's going to be gold. And I said, well, what could fit well with a villain that has or wears gold? And I thought a lot about it, and I found that the best option for that was the Egyptian pantheon, because uh, they wore a lot of gold and they had cool designs which could contrast with my human character that looked supernatural. They look like giant animals, and they can kind of be uh, they can look menacing uh, and very out of this world. That's the kind of feel I want for my villains.
That's actually a good idea because it's always good to have like the characters in certain cases, not to be like contrasting in contrast to the villain that they have to fight. For example, like Spider-Man and Venom. No, Spider-Man's thin, Venom's really big, monstrous. Yeah, I like that. I like that
Exactly.
concept. It's
Ooh,
really good,
excuse me.
really good idea. Yeah, no, no problem, no problem. And yeah, and I don't know. Are there any other questions in the chat? Are there any more questions?
Yeah, like you were saying, Elliot. Yeah, you have, for example, Captain America, who is all blue, and then you have
Yeah,
the Red Skull, who has this giant red
the
skull,
red.
and then
Yeah,
yeah, and then the black of his clothes, which contrasts with Captain America's white star. Excuse me for every.
yeah. No, no problem. No problem. Yeah, we live in Lima, everybody. So there's neighbors are like right outside. There's people everywhere. So we always have interruptions and stuff. It's okay. Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, but that's awesome stuff, man. And yeah, I think that's all for all the questions that I have. I don't know if there's any other body in the chat. If you have any other questions for Jenko, and I wanted to show also this last. I finally I finally got the art. Yeah, this is Jenko's fan art of my character, and I like the pose. I like how he did the sword. He did really good work on the sword. The color work himself was really nice, and yeah, I'm gonna find some way to include this in the book whenever it comes time to doing my campaign. I don't know when that's gonna be, maybe in a few years, but I will include this and the other fan art that I got. Really good pieces, and yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to do that. I'm gonna do fan art piece of also of Silver Lining. I like the character. I like what you're doing, and I want to pay back the fan art and do a fan art piece of your character also. I think it's going to be really nice. Maybe I could do something like this where they're both in the same picture, something like that. I don't know, but I'll think of something. And then I wanted to show people. This is the original concept art of one of my characters, and this is and here is a recent art that I did of him. Um, if you can see on the shoulder here and on the belt here, there's things that I've added from this previous drawing. These are just some of the updates and the changes that I'm making to the character. I left these spaces open on purpose because I knew I wanted to have something here. I wanted to have something here also, and here in the center also. But I just changed the entire look of that belt altogether. And this is something that's going to be. This is what I'm going to keep for the shoulder. I may change this one on the chest a little bit more. Um, but yeah, these are all just the things that I did for this recent pinup of the character. His name is Silas, and he's going to appear in Ominus, and that's going to come out someday. But yeah, and I just wanted to show that before
Oh
I
man,
forget.
that's really cool. I had a question. Is Silas the brother of Sadok?
No, they're not related at all. They bump into each other, and it's like they're two buddies. They end up being friends, and then they go on a journey together. But they are not related. They have nothing in common. You'll see that in the story. But yeah, Silas. This what he's wearing. This is the armor of the kingdom that they live in. So he's a royal soldier. You can call it, and yeah, so he's
That's
going to
awesome.
cross paths with Zadok, and then they're going to embark on their journey. And Zadok is not a soldier or a fighter at all. He's like they're like opposites of each other, and I think it makes for a really nice dynamic. And yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
you'll
awesome,
see
man.
them together having to handle all the threats that get thrown at them, which is one of the ideas.
Yeah, when members of a duo contrast each other, that gives for a lot of story potential. Like
Yeah,
the Lethal Weapons films, they do that quite great.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love Danny Glover and Mel Gibson. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, yeah, I love them too. Yeah,
Awesome. And then
so it's 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 uh, it's in a kind of medieval landscape or background or let's say ambientation, right? This story.
yes and no. I think the best word to describe it now is steampunk because there's I don't know if it's exactly steampunk also, but it might be steampunk. I call it sci-fi fantasy, but I don't know. I may be wrong. Also, there's a there's technology. There's fantasy in it. I'm gonna have uh, things like magic and things like that in it. People with superpowers in it. It's like a mix of a lot of different things that I like. And the I was when I one of the words that the editor used to describe it was steampunk. So I think it might be in that sense also. But I don't know. I'll see what happens. I think I'm going to lean towards that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
That's awesome, man. And did you get an influence from the shonen manga I was telling you about? because Sadok seems like a bit like a shonen protagonist.
Yeah. I saw that comment. Yeah, and I definitely see the resemblance. It wasn't my intention because I don't know what that word means, but yeah, I see how it can fit perfectly with that definition. So there's a lot of Zadok that I took. Some of the elements from Zadok I took from Cloud from Final Fantasy, Luke Skywalker from Star Wars. There's elements of those kinds of things in Zadok, and uh, and yeah, that was the some of the inspiration for it. But a lot of it also has to do with my imagination, what I thought would be a good idea for a story, and
Yeah, I'll tell you,
definitely.
he's a cool character and very fun to draw. He has a lot of different textures. If you guys are interested in doing a funnel for Sadok, uh, he has like a leather belt here. He
Yeah,
has the metal of his sword. He has like a cloak, a green
yeah,
cloak, like Doctor Doom, which I love. And
yeah.
and yeah, so there's a lot of detail put into the character, a lot of different textures. Very, very cool design.
Yeah, thank you
Very
very
fun.
much. Thank you very much. So yeah, that's what I have, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And if
Really
there's
interesting.
yeah, 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 and I don't know if there's any other questions from anybody in the chat. Also, I think that would be it. Uh, we've covered all of the aspects of the comic experience, and yeah. So please again be sure to check out Jenko. I have all of his information in the description below, and you can catch him on Instagram, on Twitter, and where else can we find you, Jenko? How can we get in contact with you to keep in touch about Silver Lining?
You can find me on YouTube also. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. The fastest way to contact me is by Twitter. I check out my Twitter a lot. And also by Instagram, which
Awesome.
are linked in the description below.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
all of that
you will get
information.
news. You will get news about my project in both Twitter and Instagram.
Definitely. And yeah, you can get all that information in the description. Please be sure to check that out. And then you can find me, as you know, on Twitter or Instagram. Um, I have a new Instagram account. I don't know if you guys know that, but because I had an older one, but now I got a new one with all my art. Both of that also is in the description, and 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 yeah, you can also obviously catch me here on YouTube. I'll be doing the show uh, every other week, so which means in 2 weeks I'll have another guest, and we'll talk more about comics and get to see what's out there in the Twitter space, in the Twitterverse, and that's it. So thank you very much to everyone for joining us. Thank you for the lovely people in the chat. You guys make it great all the time. And thank you, Jenko, very much for coming to the show. I really appreciate it. Thank you for giving us your time and showing us your project. The project is Silver Lining and is coming out next year. Be on the lookout for the mailing list, for the sign up list also.
Yeah.
And not, yeah, and definitely, Jenko, I would like to have you back on again so we can talk about the launch of the campaign and yeah, man. So you're always welcome here, and I wish you nothing but the best. Yep.
Thanks a lot, man. I wish you the best too. And also to the chat. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And thanks a lot for having me on.
Yeah, no problem at all. No problem. And that'll wrap it up for us today, everyone. Thank you very much for stopping by, and I will see you in 2 more weeks when we have another guest. And please follow Jenko. Be sure to check him out, check out his art, and see what he's cooking with Silver Lining. And then that'll be all. So thank you very much. I will see you guys later. Have a
Thanks a
great
lot,
day.
man. Bye, guys.
Take care. And we're out.
Yes.
Wait. All right, now we're out.